back here on Southeast Sports Plus. The transfer portal closes today. We found out there's one major quarterback that is not entering the portal, not going to the NFL. It's John Mateer, who will return to Norman, Oklahoma to play for the Sooners next year. Of course, led the team to the college football playoff this past year. This has to be a welcoming sight for Coach Brent Venables and company. You have Ben Arbuckle back. You have John Mateer back. I know they lost some production in the running back room. They'll lose some key players on defense. But to have your signal caller back for next season has to be huge for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about this earlier in the week, and it was interesting that we hadn't heard anything about John Mateer, especially with Michael Hawkins Jr. committing to West Virginia. It almost felt like he kind of knew something that everyone else didn't.
Right.
And it was like, eventually we had to address the elephant in the room, and John Mateer does end up opting to come back. We could talk a little bit about, is this the best option for him? He didn't really have the year that he was expecting just because of that hand surgery. Yeah. I don't know if playing that, what was it, the Cotton Bowl? The Red River rivalry.
Against Texas,
I don't know if that was truly the best option for him. He threw 3 interceptions in the game, because after then, it really didn't seem like he looked like himself until the Alabama CFP first-round game.
Yeah, and this was a team obviously led by their defense, but he was kind of their main catalyst as far as running the football goes. They got no production or very little production out of their running backs. They had Jay Knott that was on the roster. Yeah. They got Blackman, who had some production late in the year, but he was kind of their running game, stabilizing the offense. I think people expected more out of him, but then kind of graded on a curve when he came back from the injury, because it was like, oh, well, of course he's not going to look good because of this injury, this hand injury. Ended up getting his team into the college football playoff. I do think it's best for his growth only because Ben Arbuckle's staying. And I think that they got enough intel from the NFL guys. Hey, this is what he needs to work on. This is where he'll be good. And then they have some help in that wide receiver room. Satania's coming back. Isaiah Satania's coming back. I saw that where he's coming back from Oklahoma.
Over from Texas.
Then he got the transfer from Texas.
There's going to be the added edge there because of the whole Texas situation.
Correct.
We talked about that on the show a few weeks ago, about how in today's college landscape, we're starting to see teams kind of force these players to enter the transfer portal because they're like, hey, there's no spot for you, so you might as well go ahead and just enter the portal and get out of here.
Yeah, and he was almost pushed out, forced out. So I'm interested in the Red River rivalry next year only because you have Parker Livingston going up against his former team, and can him and John Mateer get on the same page?
Hopefully John Mateer
for sure. Time. Yeah. And I was going to say, I think health is going to be the biggest thing. Yeah. If he comes out this year, his health is still going to be an issue for NFL GMs, and I don't think that you make the kind of money that you would make going into college, back to college football. Right. I don't know what his NIL deal is, but I'm sure he's making I think
it's a new deal.
Right. Right.
I think I saw the terminology again. Agreed to a new deal. That would bring him back for the 2026 season. But it's just, I think he's going to be, and this is not his fault by any means. I feel like he's going to be a little bit upset that he did get hurt this year, because if I'm a quarterback, I would go to the draft here this year, because it looks like it's Fernando Mendoza, and then it's Ty Simpson, and then who else? Some people are saying Trinidad Chambliss, but Chambliss might come back.
Yeah.
Dante Moore kind of threw a wrench in everyone's plans by announcing that he was going to return to Oregon. I just think when you look at the 2027 class, it's obviously going to be headlined by Arch Manning.
Yeah.
And then after it, you also have to look at Rocco Becht, who just transferred to Penn State. You have to look at maybe Gunnar Stockton. He might be up there.
Yeah.
Dante Moore is obviously going to headline that. Julian Sayen's going to be in that class. Bo Perbula maybe if he finds some success.
Yeah. And he gets healthy and he stays healthy.
I don't know. Lenore Sellers is going to be up there. Lagway's going to try to be up there. I mean, it's crowded. And I think Mestemaker, who just went from North Texas to Oklahoma State, is also going to be up there.
Right.
Alongside
Sam Levitt.
Like, we keep listing these names. It's going to be a generational quarterback class. Do you really want to enter yourself into the mix for that? Because there's a chance that one of these guys, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we were talking 5 years from now, that one of the guys that was drafted in the 2027 class, or that wasn't drafted, he went undrafted, would be a star. Because, I mean, there's just that
so many. Yeah.
There's so many.
And simple probabilities will tell you, what, maybe 20%, 30% hit rate And then who knows? I mean, if it is a dice roll, who knows if the guy if it's the 5th round or the 6th round, or as you mentioned, undrafted, is the guy that pops and ends up being the superstar moving forward for Oklahoma. They have a really interesting schedule because obviously every team goes to a 9-game conference slate into next year. No disrespect to UTEP, no disrespect to New Mexico. I think that they win both those games pretty handily. Their other games at home, Kentucky, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Texas A&M. I know Ole Miss and Texas A&M won't be easy as far as on the road. Going to the big house, of course, against Michigan. Going between the hedges to Georgia, Mississippi State, Florida, and Mizzou. I mean, it's a daunting schedule, but I could see a return back to the college football playoff.
What do you expect? Like, when you take a look at the schedule, what's a respectable record for him?
I'm going to do my January 16th.
Yes.
My January 16th. Don't hold this against me. Don't clip it. And if they go undefeated or 0-10,
don't clip it.
Throw this back in my face. UTEP win, New Mexico win, Kentucky win, South Carolina win, Ole Miss. It depends on Chambliss. Chambliss in, loss. Chambliss out, win. Texas A&M loss. That's one loss. Sorry, it's 2 losses. If he's back.
Potentially.
Michigan at Michigan, new coach. That's
Justice Haynes.
No Justice Haynes, but Kyle Whittingham. In the big house, that's a loss. Against Georgia, that's probably
they're having to replace 5 of their 6 wideouts, by the way. Might I add?
Yeah.
Georgia is.
Okay.
His branches to the draft.
They go between the hedges and get a win.
Wow.
Mississippi State will be a win. Florida, I think it's going to take. It's going to take John Summerall. I think it's going to take him a year to get it rolling.
Yeah.
I think that's a win. Missouri a win, and Texas.
Got to be careful with your words.
I know, because if the committee doesn't, here's the thing, I could say no playoffs, but then when the committee meets, they meet on Sunday, right before the national championship game. If they ratify a 16-team playoff, a 4-loss SEC team, I think, still gets into the college football playoff, in my opinion. If they don't, and they
24 playoff, a 4-loss SEC
for
team
sure, 24 4-loss definitely does. But then in my very fast win-loss thing here, if they do lose to Texas, and that is 4 losses, in a 12-team playoff, that 4 loss, you're done. In a 16-team playoff, that 4 loss, I think you're in.
UTEP is definitely a win. New Mexico's a win. Kentucky's a win. South Carolina's a win. Ole Miss is a loss no matter what, because I still believe in Deuce Knight.
And he's not a fan.
I'm not a fan. You cannot.
You're thinking Deuce Knight.
You cannot watch Deuce Knight again. It's against Mercer.
Yeah.
You cannot watch that performance and be like, oh, he's gonna be a threat for a few years.
No. He looks like a
especially alongside Kewan Lacey.
Yeah.
And the guy they got coming in over from East Carolina. I mean, it's gonna be the same style offense.
Yeah.
He was there at the Fiesta Bowl. I seriously would doubt that there's gonna be any drop off. Texas A&M loss because the defense. I just don't expect them to.
They'll be good again.
Recover.
Yeah.
Michigan's a loss. Georgia's a loss. Mississippi State is a win. Florida's a win. Oh, Mizzou. Texas is a loss for sure.
That's 5.
It's just tough.
That's 5.
It's so tough because all of these teams are going to be rebounding next year.
Yeah, and they all have their quarterbacks going next year.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it'll be interesting. I
might be talking about Brent Venables back on the hot seat.
Exactly. I know the Vegas over-unders typically come out in the summer.
Yeah.
Theirs will be interesting because I'm going to project they're going to say 8, maybe 8.5, 9.
Yeah.
I think if they put 9.
I think Ole Miss before the year was 8.5.
Right. And obviously you cleared that, 11 games into the year, 10 games into the year.